There's not a lot of good rhythm in this one. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven, we were all going direct the other way. In short, the period was so far like the present period that some of its noisiest authorities insisted on its being received, for good or for evil, in the superlative degree of comparison only. There were a king with a large jaw and a queen with a plain face on the throne of England. There were a king with a large jaw and a queen with a fair face on the throne of France. In both countries, it was clearer than crystal to the lords of the state reserves of loaves and fishes that things in general were settled forever. It was the year of our Lord 1775. Thank you. You may be seated. Yeah. There's not good pages to it. Just kind of have to, I don't know. We're getting better at it. It doesn't help that this is, Dickens is notorious for using very difficult language. Of course, he's going to use language that has to do with that time period, and not even just his own, but he's been long dead. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to understand some of the things he says. The good thing about Dickens, though, is while he used a lot of complex language and really difficult words that you read it and you're like, I don't know what that means. Sounds like some foreign word. He says enough that eventually you get the idea of what he's talking about. Now, that might be good or bad. You can get the idea of what he's talking about, but sometimes he just rambles on and on and on. So he'll spend 2 pages describing a road to Dover. And then you finally get to, oh yeah, the mail's being delivered, that's why. And you're like, why did he just, I know exactly what the road looks like. Well, that's why. That's why he describes it in that way. He's painting a picture. He wants you to feel what his characters are feeling. He wants you to empathize with what they're going through. And the best way to do that is just these descriptors. So what we're going to do today, you all should have read book 1, chapters 1 through 4. We're almost finished with book 1. It's really short. Book 2 is very long. Book 3 is pretty long too. But book 1 is really short. So what we're going to do is we're kind of going to go through chapters 1 through 4, explain what's going on so you can get the idea at least. We'll read some of it. I want to focus on chapter 1 because this is setting the stage for the timeline of events in history. This is describing history. He does take some liberty. He wants to make you understand what situation that especially the peasants are going through. But Dickens wasn't merely partial to the lower class. He was very sympathetic to them because he did grow up very poor. He saw their plight. He read a lot about the French Revolution. So there is a lot of that, like it looks really terrible. The aristocrats actually look like big jerks through most of the book. But also there's an element that we'll see as we move on toward the end of the second book, I believe, that he doesn't just have this one-sided view. He does understand that not all of the wealthy are just these mindless evil villains who are just out for wealth and they don't care anything about the lower class. Because as you remember, he came from nothing and then he eventually became the most popular writer in his century. So he can kind of relate to everyone in both classes. So we're going to look at the first page of the book as far as the first chapter goes. Looking through our catechism, we've already explained what this is talking about. There's this disconnect, there's this duality. We have a dichotomy of these very impoverished, the most impoverished people, and then we have these wealthier than they know what to do with money type of lords and aristocrats. And then you have this almost cluelessness in the lords and the aristocrats about the plight of the peasants, and then you have this enmity, this almost envy of the peasants because they have nothing. And that's going to all come to a head eventually. So at the beginning here, we see the dichotomies as we're going through. After we get through our catechism, he talks about how England is very spiritual. It's almost like around every corner there's a spirit. So much to the fact that they believe that there's ghosts, and they believe that you catch a glimpse of a ghost around every corner, and they believe in all of these different prophecies and these bad omens, and so you have these paranoid people who, in one sense, the spirituality is good because they're right, there's a spiritual element to things, but in the other side of it, you can fall off on that ditch and go way too far to where just everything is spiritual, and there's no physical element to that. There's no physical explanation to that. So that's what England is falling off into. And it says in that third paragraph there, spiritual revelations were conceded to England at that favored period, as at this. Mrs. Southcote had recently attained her 25th blessed birthday, of whom a prophetic private in the Life Guards had heralded the sublime appearance by announcing that arrangements were made for the swallowing up of London and Westminster. Even the Cock Lane ghost had been laid only around a dozen of years after rapping out its messages as the spirits of this very last past, supernaturally deficient in originality, rapped out theirs. And I hear some rapping going on. Mere messages in the earthly order of events had lately come to the English crown and people from a congress of British subjects in America, which, strange to relate, have proved more important to the human race than any communications yet received through any of the chickens of the Cock Lane brood. So what do we have going on here?
People hear ghosts all the time.
We have this hyper-spirituality. Literally everything, it's a ghost. Everything can be blamed on a ghost. If something goes wrong, if your tea is too hot, it's a ghost. If your tea is too cold, it's a ghost. All right, so they're looking to the spiritual for reasons for everything. So that's England that we have here, this hyper-spirituality. Now we're going to look on to France, and we're going to see a similarity, but in the opposite direction, falling off in the opposite ditch. So it says, France, less favored on the whole as to matters spiritual than her sister of the shield and trident, rolled with exceeding smoothness downhill, making paper money and spending it. So we have excessive debt. You can't just keep printing money. You guys should know this.
The government should know this.
You can't. The government does know that. So I mean, we're not in American history. We could talk about that further, but this is an age-old problem. This is not just our government. This has happened since, like, I mean, you can read about the fall of Rome. You can read about the fall of Greece that's about to happen. Maybe it's not to prophesy or anything like that, but so bless you. Under the guidance of her Christian pastors, she entertained herself, besides, with such humane achievements as sentencing a youth to have his hands cut off, his tongue torn out with pincers, and his body burned alive, because he had not kneeled down in the rain to do honor to a procession of monks which passed within his view at a distance of some 50 or 60 yards. So what is France doing? Yes, France believes in the spiritual, right? They obviously have some sort of a reverence for the monks, the people of the church, the pastors, the reverends. So what are they doing though?
Killing a boy because
they're taking it so far as there's almost this, we respect all of that spirituality so much that if you make one small offense in that direction, off with your head. We're going to see more of that actually.
No.
Oh,
off with your hand.
Off with your head. Off with your head would have been a much nicer death than off with your tongue and your hands and like, what else are you gonna do?
Burn the body.
So it's really brutal for something that's possibly pretty minor. I mean,
50 yards.
what was the reason? Yeah, 50 or 60 yards away. Think of a football field. more than half of a football field away. You can barely see them. Oh, they're passing by, okay. And he didn't kneel down in the rain and the mud.
Oh, horrible.
Done, dead.
How rude, how dare you
I
go
mean, it's pretty
bow
bad.
down to the
How
monks.
dare you, Casey?
If this is happening, think about how many people are being executed or imprisoned or punished in some way, shape, or form. Think about that. If that is an offense that's worthy of death, how many others are doing minor offenses that are having their hands chopped off, tongue ripped out, body burned, thrown into a prison forever just to rot, be forgotten about? So we have this going on in France, but we're going to get to England. It's not much better. So I want you to, since you've already read this, give me some descriptors of what life is looking like in England and in France. That would be the same for both. It's almost like a Venn diagram. We've got some opposites going on, like a hyper spirituality and maybe just more of a materialism in France. But what are the things that they are both having in common?
They both have debt.
Debt, lots of debt, yes.
Overreaction.
Overreaction. I mean,
Dangerousness.
to put it lightly, what
Dangerousness.
Danger, definitely danger. We have a very harsh rule, you could say, so maybe tyrannical rule, because the death penalty seems to be pretty rampant. Let's look a little further. Let's look at the mayor of London. So this is going to be near the end. It's the second paragraph from the end of this chapter. Second paragraph starts with mayor of London. Oh no, that's not a paragraph. I'm sorry. For me it is. For you it's not. It's in the middle of the second paragraph to the end, where it says the Lord Mayor of London. It's kind of in the middle of the sentence. You'll figure it out. The Lord Mayor of London was made to stand and deliver on Turnham Green by one highwayman who despoiled the illustrious creature in sight of all his retinue. Prisoner in London gowls, fought battles with their turnkeys, and the majesty of the law fired blunderbusses. See, I'm telling you, it's like every other word in this book.
That's what
In
I-
among them, oh yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Loaded with rounds of shot and ball, thieves snipped off diamond crosses from the necks of noble lords at court drawing rooms. Musketeers went into St. Giles to search for contraband goods. And the mob fired on the musketeers, and the musketeers fired on the mob, and nobody thought any of these occurrences much out of the common way. So what do we have going on?
Highwaymen and robbing.
Highwaymen, what are highwaymen?
G-A-O-L is how Englishmen spell jail.
Are you
It's
serious?
Yes.
Good job.
It's incredibly annoying.
What's blunderbusses?
Is it
It's a kind of gun.
Is it?
It's a shot, it's basically a shotgun.
Yeah, it's
We
a
have
big
shotgun.
shotgun.
It's
We
a
learned
big
about
shotgun?
it in history.
Fantastic. So we have chaos going on. What are highwaymen?
Robbers.
Yeah, robbers that specifically
Wait on
Are
the
on the
highway.
highway.
wait or they ride down the highway. Usually there's multiple. They attack carriages, travelers, right? They steal everything they have. Sometimes they kill them so there's no witnesses and take off, right? And
You never saw it.
we have this in excess, and they love to target the lords, the noblemen, even the mayor of London, right? And there's this, of course, the people, what are they gonna wanna do? You hear that highwaymen are going around robbing everybody as you're traveling. You need to travel, what are you gonna do?
Bring weapons.
You're gonna bring your own for self-defense, right? What's gonna happen then? There's this gunfights happening, there's
Murder.
people are just dying right and left. So we have rampant crime going on in London. We have crime going on in France as well, but we've seen firstly that it might not be proportionate crimes that people are being executed for, but France is no better. In France, there's rampant crime as well. Continuing on from where I was reading. Let's see. In the midst of them, the hangman, ever busy and ever worse than useless, was in constant requisition, now stringing up long rows of miscellaneous criminals, now hanging a housebreaker on Saturday who had been taken on Tuesday, now burning people in the hand at Newgate by the dozen, and now burning pamphlets at the door of Westminster Hall. Today, taking the life of an atrocious murderer, and tomorrow of a wretched pilferer who had robbed a farmer's boy of 6 pence. So, England, they're executing everyone as well. Legitimately, murderers, but then somebody who stole 6 pence, which is not very much, from a farmer's boy, and you're dead too. So, we talked about last week for just a little bit, and then some people got queasy. The guillotine, right?
Yeah!
Now, it is important to understand why and when the guillotine was invented. So the guillotine was invented during this time. The French Revolution actually made it a huge popular ordeal. So the guillotine is made in order to actually be a more,
Sophisticated way to kill people.
not just sophisticated, but a
Heinous.
kinder way. This is a kindness to the people. That's why it was considered the execution of the noblemen, the execution of royalty. Kings and queens would have their head chopped off. That's much better than having your tongue ripped out and your hands cut off and being burned alive, right? Yes.
Or the rack.
Or the rack. Or the rack.
The
Or
rack
being
is
drawn
fun,
and
though.
quartered. That's even, that's really bad. So, we have the invention of the guillotine with, I mean, as far as you could say, I suppose, a good intention, right? They want to make death painless, they want to expedite it, right? But this creates another problem. You make something like a killing machine that's completely seamless, works every time, and it's instant, and it's pain-free, so what are you going to be doing with it then? This creates a problem of, now we can just execute everybody. Just send them on through it, right?
It's like car wash, but for people.
Yeah, it's just line after line, hey, you're next, your ticket's up. This creates a problem because death should have weight to it. There's a reason why that in the Old Testament, God is commanding stoning to death, right? And it's not just a quick and painless, just lop off their head. There is a weight to it. This is an image bearer that we're talking about. And when an execution is rightly executed, it is done with a somber feeling. There's a heaviness to it. It shouldn't just be we can just do this so easily. So now we have created this fast track to execution. Now everybody right and left is just getting their heads lopped off, okay? Yes?
What if the blade was rusty?
I mean,
Then it would probably take like a hit or two.
no, it comes down with such force, the gravity of it, that's what made it so effective. It was perfectly straight, and the gravity that's bringing it down, it brings it with enough force that it didn't matter if it was even dull, you're done. So, not to exhaust that issue, I'm sure if Dickens was writing about that, he will exhaust the issue and it would be very detailed.
How do we know it was painless? Like, did anyone ever survive?
No, they never complained. There's never any complaints.
Yeah, the people after.
Yeah, everybody was
Yeah,
just
they were happy with it.
Yeah, like how do we know
everybody was
getting
like
your head
after
off is
after they
painless?
used it, they were just like, that was a good way to go.
There you
We
go.
just-
They didn't say anything.
Thumbs up.
They
Two thumbs up.
That's true.
No, they had your hand chopped off.
No.
Yeah, that's not safe.
Alright, so we're gonna flip to the next page. We understand the state of France and England. It's both, it's terrible. There's debt, there's some tyrannical things going on there as well. We've got the feudalism, which is the lords ruling over the peasants, and they can own land, and the peasants really, they get nothing. But at least the lords, as in our catechism says, at least the lords are, throwing them some fishes and loaves, or so they think. Right? They think that we're doing good, we're providing them with what they need, they'll be happy. So, yes,
Do they just throw them the scraps that they don't need?
symbolically, I would say. I mean, I would think that if you're starving, you would be happy with scraps that fall from a table. But they didn't have access to that. They lived in villages, pretty much like living on top of one another. And that's why disease is so rampant as well. So moving on to the next chapter.
Cannibalism.
Give me some adjectives or some descriptive phrases or words from the opening of this chapter that struck you, that paint the picture of what this looks like. Because this is what I'm referring to when I say, like, he will exhaust something and he will tell you every single detail about a road till you're sick of the road and you've forgotten exactly why he's writing the story. Yeah. You don't have to raise your hand, just stay on.
Sorry, this is unrelated, but I just realized there's a bunch of guillotines detailed on the side of my boat. Around the whole thing.
Very appropriate. Wait, what version is that? Who's the
That's-
publisher?
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Brad's got
I love guillotines.
Brad's
Brad's
got
got
really
what?
What?
Uh,
Oh, you're
Union
talking about
Square.
the front?
Union Square, New York.
Yeah, mine's just boring old blue.
Yeah, mine just painting.
Nothing on the front.
I'm stuck.
The road is really muddy.
Muddy. We got a lot of mud.
I don't see any heads in this one.
We know how that is in South Dakota.
So lots of heads in this.
After it snows in the springtime and it's starting to kind of.
Or like during the fair.
Huh?
During the fair.
During fair, yeah. So mud, it's not just a little mud, it's mud everywhere. They're tromping through it. What else?
There's somebody named Joe.
Joe who?
Any other descriptors?
Tiresome.
Tiresome, drooping heads, tremulous tails, describing the horses.
They had to get out of the carriage because it was so
Steamy
heavy.
mist.
And,
Clammy and intensely cold mist.
yeah.
As well as
Oh.
steamy.
There's, yeah, in fact, this says the steaming mist in all the hollows, and it had roamed in its forlornness up the hill like an evil spirit, seeking rest and finding none.
Ooh, look,
He's,
more ghosts.
he's really painting an ominous looking, dark picture, and sprinkling in, here's that spirituality in there as well. A clammy and intensely cold mist, it made its slow way through the air in ripples that visibly followed and overspread one another as the waves of an unwholesome sea might do. So yeah, this is dreary, it's disgusting, it's cold.
It's spooky.
We're in November, and we're in Dover, on the way to Dover. Okay, so Dover is on the coast. It's gonna be like damp and cold at the same time, which is a disgusting feeling. So we have, who is driving in, I mean, I know it doesn't tell you till near the end of the chapter, but who are in this carriage that's going on
Jerry,
to Dover?
Joe, Mr. Lori.
Well,
Is
Jerry
it better
Mr.
to be
Lori.
damp and warm than damp and
Wait, no,
cold?
it's-
Maybe, not too much.
There's a guard, right? Is he
Depends.
damn?
Yeah, we have several passengers,
Don't you dare.
but how are the passengers behaving? Are they talking amongst each other?
They're pretending to
This
sleep.
is kind of grouchy.
Ignoring each other.
Yeah,
They're paranoid.
They're paranoid, and it's causing all kinds of isolated behavior. They're not speaking to one another. They don't want to interact with one another. There's suspicion. All of them are suspicious of one another. Why?
Scary times.
They're afraid somebody might be involved with highwaymen.
the time every now and then. Let's see.
There's a thought behind it.
Alright, good time. So, yeah, they're suspicious of one another because there's highwaymen everywhere, and anyone can be a highwayman, or in cahoots maybe with the highwayman, maybe telling them, hey, there's gonna be a carriage, I'll be on it, you'll know which carriage, right?
Don't shoot me.
Don't shoot me, but this is the information that you need.
We
Yeah.
should.
Would they ever shoot each other when it was foggy and they couldn't tell who's who?
There was chaos going on in the first chapter. It's a back and forth, a mob shooting.
The
Right?
mob.
You might.
Yeah. So it says, we know this because it says, in those days, travelers were very shy of being confidential on a short notice, for anybody on the road might be a robber or in league with robbers. As to later, when every posting house and alehouse could produce somebody in the captain's pay, ranging from the landlord to the lowest stable nondescript, it was the likeliest thing upon the cards. So everybody from, I don't know, that maybe even the higher ups to the poorest, person that you would never suspect
Piggy.
could be in it with the highwaymen. They could be on the payroll if they're giving information, if they're, you know, telling them where to be, telling them, oh, this lady who's going to be traveling in this carriage, she's going to be traveling with her jewels if you come tomorrow night. We have everybody just kind of living for themselves. The lords and ladies did.
Well, they would put it in bags, and then they would just like shove it in the back. And then they would just sit. No, they would probably put it on their lap because the jewels are very.
All right, so we get to a really important person, Jarvis Lorry, which I tend to call Loris Jarvie. And if I do that, you know who I'm talking about. I'm gonna try to just say Lori because I get his name swapped for some reason. So, who is Jarvis Lorry?
Jarvis.
He's from the bank.
Don't,
He's from the bank.
don't they?
Which
say-
bank?
The Bank of London.
Tellson's Bank. Tellson's Bank. This is an important figure. He's from the bank. He's traveling to Dover. And there's some mail that's arriving. So he receives a message. We're kind of going to skip over a lot of this because it's a lot of description and it's a lot of conversation. But he receives a message, and the message is really, really, really short. What is the message? Someone other than Grayson, I know you've read it. What is the message that he receives?
Isn't it to meet
Yeah,
him
he's been
at-
revived. Crud.
What?
He's been revived, Rod.
I cannot hear. What did you say?
He's been
Been
revived.
revived,
Crud.
crud.
Not the crud.
That's a way to put it, I suppose. In a way, recalled to life. Where have you seen Recalled to Life? You should have seen it before this.
It's the book one
Yeah.
title.
It's this subtitle, this subtext from
Books the first.
Book the First, Recalled to Life. This is very important. Okay, we're gonna see this time and time again throughout all three of the books. This is a big theme. This is the biggest theme of the whole entire novel. Okay, so we're going to continuously see someone or something being recalled to life in a way. Right? And in fact, we kind of get the first glimpse of this at the very end of this chapter. So he gets this message. He knows exactly what it means. Okay, it spooks him. He knows what it means though. When he sends a message back, what does he say? Recall to life. He's going to go ahead and meet someone, and we get into that in chapter 3. But we have this kind of, I like the conversation that he has with himself.
I don't like Jerry's voice.
Yeah, he doesn't like Jerry's voice because it's really gruff and harsh, or how do you say, hoarse. It's really hoarse and gravelly. There's some, every now and then you get these tiny little dark jokes that Charles Dickens will throw in. It kind of lightens the mood, but then he takes you right back down. He sinks you right back down into the book. Yeah.
Can't read the entire thing of
Do you want to do it in an accent?
I can't do it in a British accent. I can do it in a French accent.
Just do your best.
I'll take whatever at this point.
Do I have to do the British accent?
Give it a shot. Are you doing the dialogue? Or are you doing just his monologue?
I don't like Jerry's voice.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Well, see, apparently my British accent sounds, what was the word? Southern?
That's alright. My husband can't do any accent. Except
I
to make
can't
it.
really do British.
Go ahead. You can just read it if you can. Or you can do it in French. French accent.
You know, say it.
We begin.
They're gonna step in. Not go.
That's all.
I don't like Jerry's voice.
You might be on that.
If it is Jerry,
You see the same
for all regard to himself. He's harsher than suits me, is Jerry.
I do not think that's what he sounded like, honestly. To me, he's probably a very gruff, I don't like Jerry's voice kind of guy. Like almost like if Jason Statham gained like 200 pounds. That's what I kind of imagine his voice sounds like. Alright. So we have the first foreshadowing here at the end of this chapter. So if you read the last line where he's talking to himself, he says, "You'd be in a blazing bad way if recalling to life was to come into fashion, Jerry." Okay, he's talking to himself, and he's saying, you're going to be in pretty big trouble if being recalled to life starts happening, if that starts catching on. So, yeah, did he kill somebody? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
We've got some foreshadowing there. We don't know what he's going through, but there's something there. So make sure that you understand that recalled to life is, we're going to be seeing it all the time. In almost every chapter, there's a little glimpse of it. Yeah.
What if one has, as a kid, listened to like hours of a shorter version of Tale of Two Cities and knows exactly what's coming?
Shh. Don't tell. There's a lot. There's a lot to the book. So there's so many characters. And I feel like when Dickens writes his characters, it's almost that the villains, he writes them better than the good guys. It's almost like the villains have more character to them, more depth to them than the good guys.
Because the villains are the main characters.
Why would that be? Why would Dickens, does he even know that he's doing that? What do you think?
They have more lives because they actually do stuff
They
instead
actually
of
do
just,
more things.
yeah.
There's his depth to it. He sometimes sympathizes with his villains in a way. Like there's reasons, they don't just mindlessly, murder and things like that. Like in some of Poe's stuff, he's got mindless murderers, right? But with Dickens, he gives them reasons for it, and he paints like a whole entire backstory to almost, not justify it, but give you reasons that they're doing it. Yeah.
His villains don't just go, they're gonna destroy the park to dig an oil well.
Probably not. I can't think of any book like that. Alright, so looking at the third chapter, we're on the Night Shadows, third chapter. Give me some descriptors from this, because he always opens up his new scenes with a bunch of descriptions. Just say the words, just say any descriptors that you find in this.
It was kind of dark.
Dark, death, there's death.
What?
What else?
Yay!
Darkly clustered houses encloses its own secret.
Secrets, dark, darkness, enclosed. What else? He says secret like 3 times in a row.
Secret. If it's a secret, why are you telling us about the secret?
It says darkly clustered houses encloses its own secret, that every room and every one of them encloses its own secret, that every beating heart in the hundreds of thousands of breasts there is in some of its imaginings a secret to the heart nearest it. Okay. There's a lot of secretive things going on. Something of the awfulness even of death itself is referable to this. Yeah.
I thought you said he doesn't like repeating.
No, he doesn't usually, in the first chapter, he's not repeating himself. He breaks up the redundancy and the monotony.
No, with the secret.
The secret, he repeats himself. No, I didn't say he never repeats himself. I said, you don't need to. We've talked about it before, right? With these anaphoras. Alright, so vainly hope, there's another one, vainly hope. Locked in an eternal frost, when the light was playing on its surface and I stood in ignorance on the shore. My friend is dead, my neighbor is dead, my love, the darling of my soul is dead. There's 3 times again. And burial places, these are some of the things that jump out to me. So we have mystery, isolation, and burdensome or heavy secret.
Everybody dies.
And it seems like everybody has their own secrets. Yes.
Do we know who this, that paragraph is about?
So this is a good question. While this person in the story, there's no quotations. Who's speaking?
Is it Jerry or Charles Dickens?
not Jerry.
Is it Lori?
Lori.
It's no. Is
Is
it
it-
Joris Larvey?
Jor. Joe.
No.
Is it one of the main
No,
characters?
we don't know. It's the narrator. We have no idea. It's this third person who's omnisciently seeing everything. Could be Charles Dickens. It's never specified. It's just the narrator of the book. Okay. Yes.
Do we know who died?
Do we know who died? He's kind of painting just a description of everything, and death is all around. So everybody's dying.
Why is everybody dying?
Everyone's dying because the guillotine was invented. We talked about this.
Yeah, but like,
Grayson.
Everybody's dying.
are you sure that these 3 people died from the guillotine?
No, this is just symbolic. We have a lot of symbology going on. We have a lot of analogy.
Grayson.
It's just symbolism. All right,
No,
so
no, let's come.
we have the messenger once again. Yay! Talking to himself, right? Jerry talking to himself. And he once again is being plagued by the message that he doesn't understand, recalled, and it's for some reason eating away at him. Why on earth would that be? There's some secret that he has that this is making him almost like have a guilty conscience. This is kind of scaring him. What could this possibly mean? And what could this mean for me? So he's trying to rationalize it in his own head. He's trying to, convince himself, it's probably nothing, like, maybe he'd been drinking, or but then it comes back and he's like, what if this is, something that's bad for me? He doesn't know what's going on.
No, Jerry, no.
But it scares him. So, I'm gonna turn. We have Mr. Lurie once again.
Yeah.
He's trying to sleep as he's going to Dover. He's trying to get some rest. Everybody else is keeping to themselves, right? But what happens every time he tries to doze off?
He keeps having the same recurring nightmare.
Yeah, almost like these visions, like he's playing things out in his head. He keeps having these waking dreams, these fantasies that he's got going on where, do you ever, you have a situation that you're gonna have to get into, and you're trying to play it out in your head, and you're trying to see, well, if they say this, and then maybe I could say this, or what if this happens, and you just worry about it, and you have anxiety about it. That's what he's going through here. So he says that 100 times the dozing passenger, Mr. Lorry, inquired of this specter. The specter who has been buried for almost 18 years, buried alive, and has been recalled to life. And this is haunting him constantly. He can't sleep. He sees the specter's face, and he replays the scenario that hasn't happened yet over and over in his brain, and each time there's different results. So sometimes the specter is just zoning out, just completely lost. He's completely mindless, and other times he reacts to him, and he reacts to the news that he's going to have to give him. So he's being haunted by this. There's something in his past that he's going to have to deal with now.
Ooh, more ghosts.
Ghosts, exactly. Yeah, we see the spiritual, supernatural side of this. That's even him, who he considers himself a sensible man. He's a banker. He deals with his clients all the time. He travels back and forth constantly between France and England. And yet, even he is falling to this paranoid superstition of this person, this specter that's being recalled to life after 18 years. So 18 years buried alive, that's what he keeps saying. He keeps repeating himself. So, I want to point out at the end of this, because he does go through and he has the same conversations, he plays out the same scenario over and over. But at the end of the chapter, so if you look at the very last couple of lines at the end of this chapter, I'll say the last line of the second to last paragraph, and then that quotation there. It says, though the earth was cold and wet, the sky was clear, and the sun rose bright, placid, and beautiful. This is completely opposite of the way that this chapter opened and the last chapter opened. It's completely dark, it was just no hope, vain hope, right? And now we see the sun rising. And it's actually beautiful. Yeah, even though it's still dreary outside, the sun rising, we have the symbolism. And he says, 18 years, said the passenger, looking at the sun. Gracious creator of day, to be buried alive for 18 years. To never see the sun. And this is a recalling to life. These two sentences are a recalling to life, in a way. The sun has come out. It's symbolic of a recalling to life, okay? We don't know exactly what recalling to life means just yet, but we do know that there is some symbology going on that's leading us up to that. So, and I wrote, Dickens likewise hints that the silent forces moving France toward revolt will be brought to life. So we're not in revolt yet. The French Revolution hasn't happened just yet. It's just before, like it's coming. And we're going to start to see the players come out and be exposed in the light, whether for good or for evil. All right, last chapter. Let's see. What time's this class over?
No
11?
clue.
Huh?
No clue.
I think
Someone just died.
I think
Yay!
starts at 11:15.
11:15. And I'm here for that too. Mrs. Hughes won't be here today, so I'm your next teacher as well.
I didn't know we get you afternoon.
Oh,
I'm not here for this class.
We get you this afternoon as well.
This afternoon, yeah, I'm just gonna follow you through.
Yeah.
They're good.
Are they okay?
I don't have your screaming, so it's either
They're
okay
either
or really
dead
bad.
or they're,
Yeah. We've talked a lot about death today. That's probably not that great. It's starting to
No, it's a perfect thing. Everybody loves death.
All right, let's move on to chapter 4. Okay, so we have set up that Mr. Laurie is arriving at the Royal George Hotel in Dover, and we get several pages of how he's feeling, what he's looking like, how he smells. Not good. If you've been traveling all night in a carriage with a bunch of other stinky, muddy passengers, and you're up to your waist in mud, and it's cold and clammy and disgusting and sticky, and you're on a coastal town. Right? Dover is a coastal town. And the neat thing about Dover is that if you're in Dover and you're actually on the coast or the beach, you can look across and you can see Calais, France. You can actually see it. So this is symbolic as well. Dickens throws a lot of symbolism into his stories, even when you don't quite catch it. So he's in Dover. He arrives. He's going to spend the day getting ready because he has a very important meeting. And he says that he wishes to prepare for a young lady who may come here at any time today. So this is the person he's going to meet with first. A young lady. Cannot be the person who's being recalled to life, because if she's a young lady, 18 years buried alive, that wouldn't make sense. So why is he meeting this young lady?
So does that mean that the person who's been buried alive for 18 years is still alive?
He's recalled to life. We don't really know yet. We don't know what that means. He's been buried alive for 18 years. So we presume he is alive, but is being recalled to life in a different way.
Is he talking about the spirit of France?
The spirit of France.
I just find that really weird. Like, you wouldn't think they'd still be alive unless, like, yeah, like.
He's actually
What is
talking
the
about
spirit of France? What is that?
Spirit of France, baguette.
The guillotine at the moment, right? This is, and money,
No, it's baguettes.
right?
Baguettes.
And wine. All right, so he tells them that, you know, he's expecting this young lady, and he's preparing for her to meet her. And so he says that it's been 15 years since he had last come from France. This is a very special meeting. So 15 years ago, something happened, and now he's meeting with this young lady who can't be much older than 15. So we get some more descriptors, we see exactly what the city is like, so Dover. So gentlemen, tell me a little bit about Dover. What was the idea that you got about Dover? What is Dover like? Huh?
Yeah, it's over
It's by the sea.
Dover, Delaware.
Disgusting? How disgusting? Like why is it disgusting like sometimes Aberdeen gets in the spring with all the snow and mud and stuff?
Yeah, lucky.
Kind of, but also
Human waste.
human waste. Did it mention human waste? That's
No, it does
it
not, but
did
at
not.
this time, they usually just throw their poop out the
It's a
window.
coastal town. What do you know about a coastal town?
Seagulls. Seagulls.
Okay, which of you fishes? Who fishes here? You guys fish?
So you guys fish?
You fish? Have you ever been fishing?
Yeah, I fished.
Fish. Okay, almost everybody has been fishing, right? What is it like when you're fishing? I mean, at first it's great, but then what?
Yourself.
stand there and you cast.
You hook yourself with a hook.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
you just go.
Oh! If you start catching fish, what does it start to get like?
It's awesome.
Seagulls.
Yeah, it's more
Bird
Smells
up.
like fish, right? It smells fishy. It smells like mud and water and fish.
It's
And
worse if you don't catch fish.
if you fish when it's cold, it's clammy and dank and smells bad, and you kind of just feel gross. That's what Dover's like. So once again, we're in another city that is not looking that great, especially for the lower class. It's probably disease riddled. It's impoverished. People are living one on top of the other, but this is a coastal town. And if you look straight across, you can see Calais, France. Okay? All right.
Can you hear people in Calais,
If they yell really, really loud.
I
No,
doubt
they
it.
don't
I
say-
don't know.
They don't
I don't know
say
how
hello,
close
they
it
say
is.
bonjour.
It's a ways across the water. Like it's a ways, so I doubt that very much.
saying it sarcastically.
But you can actually see the land, which is crazy to me.
Wait, if they held up really bright signs, would you be able to read it?
Yeah.
Just make a giant.
Because if you
door
had a
on the
lighthouse,
rocks.
you'd be able to see that.
Yeah, like a neon sign that says bonjour.
All right. So who does he end up meeting? Who is the young lady?
Miss Manette.
Jill.
Miss Manette, right? Miss Manette. Mademoiselle Miss Manette. Okay, she has arrived from London, and she's meeting with Mr. Laurie. How does he describe Miss Manette?
She's kind of in wispy with like long golden hair that's kind of curly a little bit.
Long golden hair.
And
Golden hair is important.
And she was brought up in France a little bit, I think, because she has kind of a weird hint to her accent.
And
Blue eyes.
she's got blue eyes. She's fair. She has blonde, beautiful hair. She's very young. She's 17. She's beautiful. She's innocent. She's naive. She's very emotional. She's very emotional. She's very dramatic.
Please do not kill me.
Because the whole time that he's trying to talk to her, what does she keep doing?
She keeps
Grabbing
grabbing
his
his hand and doing this weird thing with her forehead that I still don't understand what it looks like.
She's just doesn't know what to do with herself. She's a young woman. It's the days where fainting was like a thing that women did all the time. I still don't quite
You think
understand
they
that.
faked most of the time?
I don't know. I honestly do not know.
It's corsets. Like they
Corsets
they
definitely
play
play.
so that they were always facing.
There you go. It's brutal. The fashion is brutal. The times are brutal. The towns are brutal. But yet we have this beautiful angel of light coming in, who is completely innocent, so innocent that she can't even fathom what he's trying to tell her, and he hasn't even told her anything yet. Right? So what had happened to her? Why is he talking to her?
Because she was an orphan.
She's an orphan?
Her dad got sent to prison or something?
Her dad, yep. So she has believed all these years that her dad is dead, right?
Oh.
She was raised by this woman, this caretaker. And yet, what does Mr. Laurie have to do with this? How does he know her?
Is he their family's lawyer?
He's the family, he set her parents' affairs in order. And we're gonna see the kind of relationship that he actually has with her. But she was born in France, yes, and at a very, very young age, before she could really remember anything, she was sent to London to be raised. And her father was a doctor. So this is important, because we're gonna get to the point where recalled to life makes a lot more sense. And I still have a few more minutes.
Her dad was secretly Victor Frankenstein.
It's 11.
Frankenstein.
Yes.
It's now 11.
Alright, so he starts to tell her the story of her father, which of course she's just like crumpling. She can't even bear to hear about her dear father that she doesn't even know. She can't take, she lives in this disgustingly decrepit, fishy city, or well, she doesn't live in Dover, she lives in London, but London is just as decrepit, and yet she's just this pristine, completely protected from the entire world and all the bad things that are happening in it. So we have this bit of light that comes out, almost like the sun came out in the last chapter, right? And he's going to shatter her whole worldview with the news that he has.
Now the world feels shattered.
So he tells her that her father's not dead. She didn't know it. Yes, I know. Like, he takes 4 pages to tell her that her father is not dead.
He should have just gone out and said,
I
your
know.
dad's not dead.
That's
Guess
kind of
what?
how, but then she would have just fainted. So I don't know. Maybe he was So he's been found alive, right? What does she say? What does she think that's going to happen? He says he's been found alive. You're going to go see him. What does she say? She says, I'm going to see what?
His ghost.
His ghost.
The spirit.
Remember this hyper-spirituality, this terror around every corner that we have. She can't believe it. It's got to be his ghost. Okay. Because he can't possibly have been alive for 18 years, buried alive. She doesn't know
I still
about
don't
this
get
yet.
how that happened. Like, how can he still be alive after being buried
Was he
alive
actually
for 18 years?
buried?
We'll see. Won't
Oh, he can't.
We'll see.
For 18 years? Is he like bald now or something?
So she tells him that she's been so happy in her life. She's never had any trouble before, and yet now she's going to see his ghost. Her life is going to change in an instant from this childlike naivete that she has to coming into the real state of things. And I mean the state of the world around her as well. It's going to get worse for her. It's not going to get any better. So once again, we have this, he repeats the term recalled to life, but Miss Manette is just like, she's gone into a waking coma type thing. She's catatonic, she can't process it, she can't fathom it, and then the woman who raised her rushes in, and what does she do?
She's like,
She smacks the.
She smacks Mr. Roy against the wall.
How dare you, my darling, beautiful, pretty.
Precious, my
She's her
bird.
protector, right? She's kept her protected from the world around her for all these years, and now you're ruining it, right?
I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. Being like, to be protected
Being that
from the-
sheltered.
Yeah.
Yes. Because when you do come into reality, then you're not strong enough to handle it. She couldn't even handle this news.
Miss Manette is a stereotypical blonde.
Oh, that is
Whoa,
offensive.
Grayson.
Grayson.
It's literally like a
Negative.
stereotype.
My cousin's blonde. She's one of the smartest people I know.
Yes, I didn't say that's
Oh, I
what
see.
blondes are actually like. I said it's a stereotype.
I'm
All
sure
right.
Abby's smart too.
So, since we're about done, you will have to write this down just so you remember, or if you can just remember it, that's fine. You need to read chapters 5 and 6. It's the finishing of
6 to
book
7.
1, the first. Okay, you're gonna finish that
The
out.
shoemaker.
Super easy reading, not many pages.
Okay.
We're leading up to getting really into it, like we're gonna hit the ground running because next, on Friday, we'll have a little Quizlet, which I'll probably just let you take it home if you would, or we might do it, I really don't know. Since it's only 5 and 6 that you're doing, we'll probably have the quiz in class and you can just answer the questions in class.
Is it open book?
Yeah, I don't care, yeah. I just want you to know, the information. So bring your book, use your book, because if I sent you home with it, you could use your book at home, so. Yeah, bring your book with you because you can look it up. There's a lot of tangling and interweaving going on in this book of all the characters and their lives and events. And it gets confusing sometimes, so even I need to be like, what, who said that, who did that? Alright, so next week, or not next week, this Friday, quiz in class. We'll discuss before that the first, the 5th and 6th chapters, and then we'll start on the 2nd book. It just depends how much time that we have. Yeah, book the 2nd, which is gonna be a lot more reading.
Yep.
So if you haven't started reading and you're kind of just like, yeah, she'll explain it in class, there's gonna be times where we can't really go over everything in
Book
class.
28.
So it's gonna be a lot of chapters. Book the 28.
Yes.
So read chapters 5 and 6. Come back on Friday, we'll have our quiz, and then I'll assign you the next reading that we'll have as well. Okay.
Should we call you Mademoiselle Hennessy?